Yeah, and in terms of the Club World Cup, I think the tournament really needs a South American winner. I think if Fluminense win it, it'd be much better for the competition than if City win it. I think, and I watched some of the Red Diamonds game yesterday, and I thought the pitch was heavy, the quality was terrible. So it's not helping City in that respect. But it's a title that would, be distinctive for them. I think only United, Chelsea, Liverpool have won it in English clubs, but it's not a great competition. It really isn't. I think for the stake of it, it needs Fluminense to win, but I don't think they will. I think the Fluminense will be a much more competitive game because, as we know, the South American teams are so desperate to win this that their motivation is much higher than City's, I think. But I think City could probably coast to the victory. But beyond that, would it help them? I think, the first game back in the Premier League is Everton away next Wednesday. So that is a tough re-entry to the Premier League, and I think it all depends on that. That will dictate how they do. If they come back and don't win at Everton, then they could be double digits behind Liverpool or Arsenal in the title race. So winning the Club World Cup won't mean anything. So it's a big weekend for City. They've had a bit of sunshine. They've had a bit of an easy game against Urawa. So we'll see. But I'd like Fluminense to win it for the sake of the competition. It has to be said.
Brazilian sides have beaten English sides before in this stage of the competition. So they're 2-2. But the last time that happened, Corinthians beat Chelsea back in 2012, 1-0, and then Sao Paulo beat Liverpool in 2005. So it's a little different, modern football the last 10 years in terms of the finances and players. A little different, but we'll see what happens. That game's on Friday. But you touched on something there, Augie, about motivation in this game. Let me ask you just from a City big picture perspective. And people say this all the time. They've gotten complacency. You win the treble. You've won 3 years in a row in terms of the Premier League. And Shaq, I'll start with you. Do you think that City was a victim of their own success a bit? Have they gotten complacent? Is that why they've struggled? Or has it been injuries and they're just not as good a team this year as they were toward the end of last year?
Yeah, I don't see it as complacency. And I know that's an easy out, but I just feel as a professional, there's a pride every time you step on the park. And I do not take that for granted. I think as a player, you go out to win every single game. And it doesn't matter the competition. It doesn't matter the stakes. You're there to win. I mean, losing is easier to accept, depending on any number of factors. But you're always trying to win it. So I don't see that as an issue. It's just one of those things. Ultimately, we're still all human, and while you see the exceptional side of City last season and exactly how good they can be, sometimes too many players are just kind of regress to being human all at the same time, and you see what was an incredible team 12 months ago look average by that standard, though not a lot else has changed. But to answer to your question, Darlan, I don't see that as being a complacency issue. That's just a human issue.
I like that you referenced that. It has like a Drago. It had like a Drago feel, like Rocky IV. Like they got cut earlier in the year, and you believe you can beat them, and now everybody's kind of jumping on board. Augie, do you think it's complacency, or do you think what you kind of assess how Shaka did?
Yeah, I don't see it as complacency. I think maybe a bit of mental fatigue. I think to raise yourself to be at the absolute top level all the time, it's hard. People talk about too many games from a physical point of view, but I think it's more than that. I think it's psychological. It's just needing that break. It's really hard, to raise yourself every 4 days. And I think also as well this season, I think opponents have decided to take City on a little bit more. We've seen Chelsea do it, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal. They've all had success against City in various forms. I think it's because they've decided that rather than sit back and wait to be beaten, they're going to have a go, and they've had some joy. So City finding games harder, physically and mentally. So it's all taking its toll. I think we're getting to that point now where they probably just need a bit of the luck to change because opponents are taking them on. They're finding it harder to cope with it. They're missing a few players through injury. So, all that coming together. But I think complacency, definitely not. I think that's the last thing that's an issue with City and Pep Guardiola.
Fellas, we're going to leave it there. Great talk as always. Enjoy the week. We got a couple games going out throughout the week. And the weekend, of course, stacked with fixtures after Christmas Day on Boxing Day.